Hello everyone, welcome to GeForce and our E3 2019 coverage. I'm here with Thomas to talk about Control, which looks like a very fascinating game. What's the storyline on this?
So the way the game starts, Jesse Faden comes to this strange building in Manhattan, New York, which happens to be the headquarters of the Federal Bureau of Control. And then crazy stuff starts happening. This otherworldly force, known as the Hiss, kills the Bureau's director, Trench, and possesses or corrupts most of the staff. And then there's this sort of ritualistic process that makes Jesse the new director of the Bureau, imbued with supernatural abilities. And you develop these abilities as you progress through the story. So you get launch first, which is the telekinetic ability to sort of grab objects and throw them. And of course you can levitate as well later on in the game.
I love levitation. I think that's such a cool experience that you can have in gameplay. But what are some of the other attacks that she can do against some of her enemies?
Well, for example, when you levitate, you can do this really cool ground slam. She can also get a shield. When you generate the shield, she'll pick up debris around her. The environments are really reactive in this game. Almost every object you see is like a physics object, so you can grab it, you can throw it. There's a good variety there, and then you can of course upgrade these abilities as well.
So some of the games that I've played recently, they focus on having this huge map, this huge area that you can run around and adventure in. Does this game have a really big map? I know that it happens in one building, so how does that work?
One of the things we're talking about how Control is much more sort of open-ended. It's more of a sandbox experience, but it's definitely not open world. It's in a self-contained building that is split into these different sectors. The further you start venturing, the crazier it'll start getting. So there's these threshold areas where everything will look very alien and strange, and you can either venture there or not. We don't really do any sort of hand-holding. There's no flashing arrows showing you where you have to go. You have to explore. You have to read the signs in the world to find out where you need to go and all that. So prepare to get lost in a good way.
So one thing I was wondering about, how accurate is this to a Federal Bureau building in real life?
The art style is very brutalist. A lot of concrete, straight lines, and suits the story we want to tell. It looks very aged. It looks kind of 60s, 70s. The game does take place in the present day, but the Bureau's been around a long time. Plus, we like the fact that old retro stuff looks cool.
So ray tracing is going to be in Control. How does this immerse you in the experience?
We've really gone to town with ray tracing in this game, and we worked really closely with Nvidia's engineers who've been on site at Remedy. It definitely brings that added layer of realism and coolness factor. So when Jesse walks past glass, all the reflections are there. So it really just adds a layer of immersiveness. Rest assured, when you have a good RTX card, Control's gonna look really awesome.
So what was the inspiration behind Control?
Well, there's multiple things. It really depends on who you ask. Definitely House of Leaves, and then Jeff Vandermeer's books, and of course that turned into the Annihilation movie. So those were definitely some of the big inspirations. But we've internally talked a lot about how the games we've made, like Max Payne 2, felt like a game where everything was great. Gameplay was great, story was great, characters were awesome, a lot of replay value, and we really want to try to achieve that with Control. That it's got that really good narrative, really interesting world, but also really good gameplay mechanics. So there's lots of different inspirations there. The structure of the game is very Metroidvania. You kind of explore back and forth, unlock new areas in spaces you've been to previously and all that.
So it doesn't sound like this is a linear single-player game. It sounds like there's a lot going on.
Yes, so I mean, you can follow the story, but then there's lots of side missions. There are survivors and Bureau employees who will help Jesse out. You get to learn more about them and then do side missions for them. The biggest boss fights in the game are in the side missions. If you're not gonna go off the beaten path, you're not gonna find this cool stuff.
I can't wait to play this. When does it come out?
August 27th. You don't have to wait too long.
Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment below on any of our E3 2019 coverage. I'm Shannon Morris. I'll see you next time.